Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jerred Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jerred Moon here with Kyle Johnson. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty well, man. So Joe Courtney, not here today. For anybody out there listening, he's in Bahrain. So it's like 2 a.m. or something crazy for him when we're recording this. But I wanted to keep to the schedule. But Kyle, I'm so glad to have on. I've seen this man literally beat down obstacles at Spartan races for like 4 solid minutes and still succeed. It was some impressive stuff, man. So I'm excited to get to the interview. I feel like we've already spent a good amount of time together. So now we just get to record it and, share with the rest of the world. So I'm going to throw it over to you, man. Introduction, who you are, what you do, how you train, and lastly, where you're from.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on. My name is Kyle Johnson. So I'm a corporate EHS manager at a cabinetry manufacturing group. So I report to, or I'm over safety and environmental compliance for a location in Pennsylvania, one here in Greenville where I currently reside, and then also in Florida. So I've been doing environmental safety compliance for several years. So this has kind of been a pretty good opportunity for me. I train here in my garage, my little 2-car garage, if you can see around. That's attached to the house, thankfully, when
awesome.
I have to deal with the frigid winters of South Carolina.
So you're close to Trampus. Are you guys like neighbors?
He's about an hour away.
Okay.
There's I don't think any direct route to get between the two of us.
Got it. Okay.
Of course, he's on BCT now, so he could probably run here if he really wanted to. We can hang out.
He totally could. Cool, man. So I see the setup. What are we dealing with? And how long did it take you to put this together?
Well, it kind of goes back to the day after Thanksgiving in 2018. I was just kind of fed up of being, overweight and out of shape. And I kind of committed to just counting calories. I used an app called Noom, which is, just kind of like an educational piece, a lot of calorie counting, education behind it. In a lot of ways, stuff I already knew, but I just needed something to really focus on and commit to. So anyway, I worked out and in my garage, just doing resistance bands. I've got some Body Elastics stuff here, and then some resistance bands. I put up a pipe pull-up bar up here, which is no longer there because it finally pulled through the soffit up here. But anyway,
it looks like a couple holes up there.
it used to be there, but anyway, I gave myself several months. I said, if I can commit to this, if I can really, lose some weight, show some progress, and in a lot of ways justify it to my wife, maybe we can buy some weights for the garage. So come January, I felt like I was making some progress. I was really looking to either join a gym or make an investment. So I've got the Rogue SML2 squat rack, which is, I think it's the tallest one you can get, which is helpful because I'm pretty tall. I got a bunch of Rogue Echo bumpers, I think like 450 some odd pounds. A couple of barbells. One was the Rogue Echo, and then I got this at a pretty good deal. Just the plated one that is Dynabody, I think is the brand. I don't know if that's even an off brand. Never heard of it. I got some kettlebells and some resistance bands and a sandbag. My vest for Murph, which I'm doing the Murph Project. So that's been going well, but man, I hate that vest so much. But anyway, it's just been kind of an evolution of, me trying to just stick with it and commit.
So did you mention how much weight you have lost?
No. So I ended up losing about 85 pounds.
Wow.
So I found garage gym athlete shortly after buying my weights. So I think that was March of last year when I signed up, and true to form, I didn't really stick with it. Honestly, I cherry picked what I wanted to do. I didn't really click with the programming yet. And I made it through like the whole summer or half the summer, just kind of cherry picking workouts. I think I did the strength track. And then finally I was like, okay, if you're going to do this, do it. You're paying for it. You're going to commit to it. It's great, obviously. So the first cycle in July of last year, I did shred, and man, it was awesome. I loved it. I really just feel like I committed fully. And since then it's been nonstop. It's been great.
That's huge, man. So walk me through this a little bit, because
Sure.
I just know that you have an awesome story. So you lost 85 pounds. So this is 2018. We're only 2 years out, maybe a little over 2 years. And you've gone from 85 pounds, more than you weigh now, to very consistent with Garage Gym Athlete, doing Murph once a week. You're wearing a red PR shirt, which means not only have you seen the consistency, you've put in the work to get the results and hit the PRs. So how do you make that switch, man? I mean, a lot of people want to know the answer to that question, because if a lot of other people could make that switch, it'd be huge for them. So how do you do that in such a short amount of time?
I think a really big portion of it, and I think a lot of people can say this for themselves. My son, he's my only son. So he was born on September 20th, 2018. And, I was just I was already exhausted, just sharing, who gets up in the middle of the night to take care of him. And, I was like, I'm just, kind of the old sick and tired of being sick and tired type of thing. It really was the day after Thanksgiving. I had eaten, 15,000 calories that week, just because who cares, eat whatever. And I'm just like, what are you doing, man? Just get it together. So that day I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I commit to? I already had the Lose It app on my phone, which was kind of a joke because it was there and I wasn't using it. I was gaining it, if anything. And I really just was seeking something simple, something attainable, something that I could really just easily commit to. And, there has to be an evolution. You can't just wake up one day and do a Spartan, but you can train for it. You can wake up and, walk a mile. You can count calories. And that's just what I did. I made sure to get my steps in each day. And then, after I made sure I got my steps in, I would do workouts with like the body elastic stuff, and I would do rows. I've got like this anchor on the wall that's still there where my weighted vest hangs. I would just use it for simple exercises and break a sweat, make sure I'd hit my steps, count my calories. And I was doing like 1,600 calories a day. So that was a huge just shock for me, for my body. So it really just, kind of evolved into me just really like, okay, I'm really going to do it this time.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations on the success you've seen so far. And I know you'll continue to see success. I want to jump to the Spartan race, because what I mentioned at the beginning with, I want to kind of explain what I was saying earlier with you beating obstacles down, is we would go through them. So we kind of ended up splitting into two different crews, and Kyle ended up with, we were in the same crew of, I don't know, we just ended up splitting up. And so I was with Kyle, and then you'd get to these obstacles and you'd either do it or you don't do it. And if you don't do it, it wasn't like burpee penalties all the time. It was like run these ridiculous, like they somehow put another obstacle course in it. And then I remember one time specifically, I'm standing there, I'd finished the obstacle, and you and I had like kind of started at the same time. That's right. I finished it. And I was standing there, and then like the other Kyle had come around, and he had like he failed the obstacle, and he'd come around. I didn't know where you were. I was like, oh, maybe he's running the lap. But you were still on the obstacle, man. You were like, not like trying over and over again. You were like on it, like, and you finally did it. And then I remember you getting over there. You're like, I don't know if it's worth it. You're like, I don't know if it's worth it to expend all that energy. But man, you just have some crazy determination, and you crushed most of those obstacles, man. So that was awesome.
It was, that's how much I hate burpees. I think that's just a testament to how little excitement I had towards doing burpees.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The funny part about that, I don't know if it's the obstacle that you're referring to, but whatever the wall is, I don't know if it's like a 9-foot wall, but I just remember like hanging on that stupid thing for what felt like an eternity, like doing like the world's slowest pull up. And I'm like, finally, I'm in, I got it. And then by the time I had gotten over, I think Ashley had just finished her burpees. So I'm like, well, really net zero on time at that point.
Right.
So, but I mean, I would do it again. I just remember like I felt so beat down after that workout. Like my hip flexors were dead. I mean, we're running through, inches of mud for the whole time, getting rained on, getting cold. I mean, I wasn't in the military, but that has to be like the closest thing that like you can just get to just being in the middle of nowhere, just suffering, like no choice but to trudge on,
That was a good one, man. I mean, people literally like getting hypothermia and all sorts of crazy stuff. But well, let's jump to now, or should I say the future of now. What are some of your current goals?
Well, we were talking about how I had lost some weight. So I was originally, I guess I should have said, I was pushing like 278. And then I really stayed on. I was really, really diligent. And I got myself down to 195. But I feel like I never really found that balance between like, what I need to be eating just for training, because I had spent so much time just counting calories to lose weight, but now I'm kind of shifted into that performance, side of things where I'm like, well, gee, I've never done this before. So ideally, to answer your question, just find, what's right for me as far as, dietary requirements. I know the fuels course is out there and I've even signed up for it, but I haven't committed to it yet. So shame on me. But that is something I would really like to pursue and actually, complete next year. And then another goal, I really thought I was going to accomplish it this year, but it was canceled, doing that other Spartan race, because I would have loved to see just how much progress I've made since then. I mean, I'd like to say there's no way it could have been that bad, but who knows?
Yeah, you never know. It's all somehow the weather always gets really crappy whenever I do a Spartan race. So it just happens. Cool, man. So we kind of covered what you were doing before. You were a garage gym athlete with bands. Calories in, calories out. And just by the way, for everyone listening, if you look at the scientific literature, what Kyle is doing is like the most proven thing you can do. People, they really like to rave about diets, whether that's paleo and, vegan and carnivore and all these different things that are out there. But the most proven thing out there, as far as research is concerned, is just calories in, calories out. And a lot of people hate that answer, but it's just the fact of the matter. If you, if you're tracking your calories really, really well, it should work, and you're expending the right amount of calories as well. So good on you for doing this, the mathematical equation. But was there anything else that you were doing that you feel like we should hit on pre-garage gym athlete?
Well, I did CrossFit. So I relocated from Cincinnati, Ohio down here to Greenville at the end of 2016. So from like 2013 to the end of 15, whatever that timeline is, I was doing CrossFit. But I mean, it wasn't really my cup of tea. Like I enjoyed it, and the intensity just seemed like something was always hurting, but not in a good way type of thing. And not that I'm natural born athlete by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm really happy to have found, garage gym athlete, just because I know I'm just going to be sore. I'm not going to be miserable. Right. So anyway, it's just, prior to that, CrossFit, I played high school sports and stuff like that, but nothing too extreme.
Cool, man. Well, how do you like working out in your garage?
That's the best. I think that, you don't really get compelled by your own ego as much, trying to just stack on weight, and you're just there. I mean, there's no one to impress. I mean, you're just kind of repping it out and making it happen, whether you're on the rower. Although sometimes your ego kind of takes over when you're trudging around doing the Iron Mile in your neighborhood and people are wondering like, what's this guy doing? You don't want to look like too big of a people. But anyway, it's huge. You can come out here anytime, work out. get it done. You don't have to feel like you got to dress a certain way, prepare in a certain way. And of course you don't have to drive anywhere. It's awesome.
All the reasons I love it.
Yeah.
All right, man. What's the hardest workout you've ever done?
I mean, if we can call that a workout, I'm sticking with Spartan because that was just a nightmare.
Yeah, I agree with that one. That one was brutal.
Yeah.
All right. In your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
Sticking with attainable, measurable goals and tracking your success. It really, for me, it came down to just that accountability aspect of, all right, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to count my calories. I'm going to make sure I get my steps in. It doesn't have to be anything earth shattering. And then, as it evolves, you realize like, man, I've got so much more ability than I really thought I did. It's, like anything else, it's change is gradual and then kind of sudden, then one day, you go from not being able to do any pull-ups, which was me. And now I can do 17 pull-ups, which is awesome. I never really considered myself someone that would be able to commit to doing the Murph Project, but here I am trudging through it. I don't love it every day, but I know it's good for me. And I know it's not the worst thing in the world. And, the worst workout, even if you don't feel it's productive, it's still better than not doing anything.
Now, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I would say the pull-up bar. I think a couple of other people have said that, but I don't know if you can really replicate that out. I would switch over to the body weight track if all of my equipment for whatever reason disappeared on me. I would probably just try to get a pull-up bar and go from there.
Very powerful exercise.
Definitely.
Now, Joe normally asks this one. If the Garage Gym Genie could grant you any piece of equipment right now, what would it be?
Is there a Garage Gym Genie?
Maybe.
All right. That's awesome. I'm going to go with the just unnecessarily huge and expensive Rogue donkey. I think that'd just be great.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is an awesome piece of machinery.
If you had to choose, like for you, for example, you've got the reverse hyper, right? But you've also got the barrel sauna. Like those are pretty unlikely pieces of equipment to have at home. Like, could you choose between like one or the other? Like, do you love them both equally, or are they both investments that you just love having in your house?
So are you asking me if I had to have one or the other, which one would it be between the sauna and the reverse hyper? Man, I love the reverse hyper, and especially on the BCT track, I use the reverse hyper almost every single day.
So warm up, I'm sure.
Yeah. And even in the programming, but I would probably choose the barrel sauna just because I can't even come close to replicating that stimulus as far like 200 degrees Fahrenheit and what that does for the body. I could do other exercises for my lower back, but you'd put me in a very tough situation.
Throwing it back at you.
All right, man. Well, what is your best advice for all the Garage Gym athletes out there listening?
Just stick to it. I really think doing even block 0 as programmed is huge. I really do think a lot of thought goes into that just to help you, warm up for the day ahead or, the workout ahead. Just stick to the programming. Don't feel bad if you have to rotate days around. Don't feel bad if you miss a day. You got a whole week to complete 4 workouts. There is time. So don't split, don't get too upset if you miss a day. Just stick with it and keep going.
That's awesome, Kyle. Well, I am so glad that we finally got you on the podcast. We're going to have to do it again. Technically, you've been on the podcast with the Murph cast that we did a while back, but to get you fully on, or solely on, should I say, we'll have to do this again, maybe next year or something like that, and see where you're at, where your own consistency and effort has taken you. But man, I hope we get to do another Spartan race together. I'm really looking forward to doing something like that, getting back out in the wild again. But, Kyle, thank you so much for being a part of the Garage Gym Athlete community and for your time today.
Thanks very much. You guys are awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.